Hello there, and welcome back to Szpakowo. So what do we have on the cards for this month? Well, it's snowing as you can see, so I don't think anything much is going to happen, but we do need to get our 2 fields cultivated and weeded, and to do that we're going to need a cultivator and a weeder. Neither of which we have currently, and we also don't have the money to purchase them currently, so we're going to have to do something about that. Let's take a quick look at our VIP orders. So 9,000 litres of wheat needs to go over to Fitplon, and I know the winter is the best time for selling wheat, so let's take a look at prices. If we go down to wheat here, we can see that 734 is the best price. Next month is the best price. We could offload our wheat for around 7,000 euros. Over at Fitplon, 713 is the current price. So that's something we can consider. What else do we have to sell? We have some sunflowers here. Now, the price isn't very good in December, so we might want to wait until around March to sell that. And I think really that's all we have. We have a little bit of barley, and that also could be sold at some point in the next little while, so we could also take that over to either of these. So Fitplon or Hemrick's Zoo is a little closer to us, so we could offload that 7,000 litres there. That'll get us another 3,000 or so. So we've got about 10,000 in potential profit that we could make over the course of the month. But before we do that, let's take a look to see what has come in terms of contracts. And looking through the list, there isn't much because it's December. So what I might actually do is skip through to January. We could do this Deadwood contract, which is just down the road from us here, but I'm not sure what it's going to be like walking around in these woods trying to find trees. I think I may have checked that in a previous video, but let's take another look. I think it's in this land here. Yeah, trying to chop trees down and get them down here into the road isn't going to be fun, I don't think. So yeah, I don't think we're going to do the Deadwood contract. So let's take a look at what we want to buy in terms of cultivators and weeders. Nothing in the discount store, which is unfortunate. What other options do we have? So cultivators, to get something that's a fairly decent working width, I would say we probably want around 6 meters or so. So we're looking at this roll Mako. And yeah, so 12,600, that roll Mako for a cultivator. And then we're looking at 8,750 for a basic weeder. That doesn't seem too bad. We can probably justify that. Yeah, we'll probably want to go for this one. It's 50% faster than the Gorenk weeder, so definitely be looking for that for the extra 2,200 or so. We need about 20,000 euros. So what I think I will do is skip through to January. Actually, do we have any cultivating contracts? Because maybe what we could do is sell all of our product, and then maybe we could buy the cultivator and then do some cultivating contracts. So what do we have in terms of cultivating? And that will get us some money. So where is field 154? Field 154 is over here. So that's an option to get us some money. We could buy the cultivator, then we'd be able to do our own fields at least, then we could take care of that. I think that seems like a good plan. Now the question is, do we do it in December or do we wait until January for possibly a slightly better price on the crop? I think skipping through to January might be the play here. I mean, it's only going to be 20 per 1,000 litres. It's going to be at 200 euros more, maybe. It's really not going to be that much difference, is it? Okay, decision made. Let's get this product sold off. So we're going to grab the wheat first of all. We'll take it over to Fitplon and offload it, and then we will grab hold of the barley, take that to wherever is offering the best sell price, and then we will do the cultivating in December. So we're just loading up here. I will get both of these sold off, and I will join you once I have purchased the cultivator and we are ready to start cultivating. I think I may have got a little overexcited with buying the shiny upgraded equipment when we landed in Szpakowo. I completely forgot all of the little expenses you have, all the little tools that you need. And so, because I bought the more expensive equipment, we're going to have to grind this out a little more just to get to a point where we have a fully functioning operation again. But that's okay. At least we're not chopping down deadwood trees. For now. I can't promise that that won't change if we need to get some income in the future. Okay, so here we are over at Fitplan. Gonna make sure we have our offload side set to the right so that the grain, the wheat, goes into this part of the silo. Let's make sure we have that set up correctly. Left, right, that's the one we're looking for. We'll get this offloaded, and the VIP requirement is going down. I am going to sell the extra 2,000 or so litres as well. Don't really need to keep it for now. So there's a nice 8,315 towards our cultivator. So let's get back over to our farm. We'll get the barley loaded up, and then we'll get that sold off. And hopefully that'll be just enough money to buy our cultivator and cultivate our own field, and then do some cultivating contracts. Okay, so here we are back at our farm, and we're just going to load up with the barley quickly, and while it's loading we will figure out where we need to take it. So we get that loaded up, and where are we taking the barley? I think we'll probably just take it over to the Henrik's SP because that's closest. It's only 7,000 litres, so taking it to one of the other places will get us 150 or so euros more. So yeah, we'll just take it for convenience. We'll take it over to Henrik's SP, which is just pretty close to here. I think I know where it is. In fact, saying that, I should probably check where it is just to make sure. So we'll tag that. No, it was actually, yeah, I was going to take it up here. So I would have gotten it wrong. Thankfully, I second guessed myself so that I made the right decision. I think I need to concrete over a little piece more of this land here, just so that the silo has a little area where you can actually drive into it. So that's something else I will do. Not as a priority because we actually don't have that much money right now, but something I will take care of at some point in the not too distant future. Okay, so 4,888, and what I will do now is we'll spin ourselves around. We will fill up our tractor with diesel. And if the cultivator is one of those ones that I can carry on the front of the tractor, we'll just pick up the cultivator, take it back to our farm with us. So let's fill up with... Oops, let's not crash into the gas station. Okay. So almost 400 euros in fuel costs. And so let's switch off the engine and let's grab that cultivator. Where is it? It was this on Mako, wasn't it? Just seeing what other options we have. Yeah, that's a 4 meter, but it's faster. That's 4 meter faster. 6 meter. Yeah, I think this is the one we are going to go with. So we will buy this. We don't need any lightning on it. And we don't need the track eradicators. I think this will do just as it is. this will be suitable for what we need for now. Okay. So let's pick it up, and I think we can carry it back to the farm on the front of the tractor. Maybe not the most realistic, but I think that's okay. Let's make sure we get the bale spike out of the way. There we go. Fantastic visibility. Oh, actually, it's not that bad. I changed some of the graphics settings in between episodes, and I think the game is rebuilding the shaders, so there's a little bit of jumpiness going on, especially when I enter the cab view. Hopefully that will disappear soon. It's one of those farming simulator things. So we'll get back to our farm. We'll drop off the trailer, and I think we can probably drop off the front loader too, and we'll throw the cultivator on the back. So first of all, let's drop off the cultivator. Come back and get that in a second, and let's ditch our front loader. Now where are we going to ditch this? I think we can ditch it in the last bay over here, but before we do that, we'll just drop off our trailer. That can live in there. And then we'll spin ourselves around here, drop off the front loader, and then we're not carrying a ton of weight around. I don't think we need it to counterbalance this tractor, so let's reverse our way over here and hook up to the cultivator. Alright, so we'll do our own 2 fields, and then we'll take a look at these contracts, and I think we'll do this big field for this farmer, and then we have these 2 fields here, so 70 and 81, they're pretty close to each other. We could probably do those on the way back from that one. So we'll take all of these contracts, and that'll get us a nice 4,000 euros. Oh, we have a harvesting contract to collect. Well, I must have forgotten to collect that from the last episode. Well, that's good. That's a nice 4,300. So we'll take these 3 cultivating contracts. And what that means is that once we've done these 3, we might have enough to buy that weeder. We'll do our own 2 fields first, and then we'll take care of those 3 contracts, and then we will see if we do in fact have enough money for the weeder. I will get this all done, and I will rejoin you once we are complete. I wanna show you the real me. I wanna show you my soul. I wanna know that you feel me. Don't wanna do it alone. I wanna show you the real me. I wanna show you my soul. I wanna know that you feel me. Don't wanna do it alone.
wanna do it alone. I wanna show you the real me. I wanna show you what's on you. I wanna know that you feel me. Don't wanna do it alone.
Okay, so we have finished cultivating all 5 fields. We've used up half a tank of diesel, which is a considerable amount considering the extended and realistic fuel prices we have active. And something I'm noticing is that our tractor maintenance isn't really going down, so I'm just going to check. Okay, so we do have 7% damage. Okay, I wasn't sure if there was something weird happening where our equipment wasn't getting damaged there for a second, but it looks like, yeah, damage is working as it should be, which is good, because as much as it's an inconvenience, I do want to have it as part of the game. So what's next? Well, as we're over by I'm going to jump in, I'm going to stop by, fill up the tank with diesel and buy our weeder, because we're going to need, actually, now here's something I need to think of. We are going to need a seeder to seed the rice and the sunflowers. So if I buy a weeder now, is that going to cause problems? Okay, so we're full of diesel, 400 euros. Let's take a quick look in the vehicle store. So we don't have any more major income from our own goods for the rest of the year. Oh, we have a little bit of sunflowers, but that's not going to be much. So our only real source of income for the next few months is going to be contract. So let's jump into the menus. I will collect all of these. And what do we have now? 9144. So if we look in the vehicle store, nothing in the discount store for us. Let's look at seeders. So our options for a seeder, I'm not going to use that. So we have these John Deeres, which they look like they are direct drill. I don't know if I want the direct drill thing happening. I think I'm going to go with... See, that's direct drill as well. What to do? We're looking at 10 to 12,000 for a seeder. We could go with this John Deere, and that can do long grain rice, and that can't do sunflowers, so we're going to need a planter for sunflowers. That scuppers our plans, because we're not going to have 50,000 euros for a seeder. We're not going to have 50,000 euros to get any kind of planter at any point soon. So for the sunflowers, we're just going to have to rely on contracts, unfortunately, because yeah, that's just not going to happen. So for a seeder, we could go with this John Deere, and that can do our long grain rice, and then we can maybe we'll think about what we want to do for the other crop in the other field. Maybe we'll do wheat again, because the next level of VIP order, I believe, also requires wheat. So we could go with the Massey Ferguson, 12,000 euros. It is direct drill, but I think that's a given with these mods. They all have direct drill for convenience. Or we could go with the John Deere. The John Deere's faster. I feel like that might be a little unrealistic. So it's a 5.2 meters, 18 kilometers an hour. We could get it with the side attachers so we could extend it eventually. So we need 6,000. I don't think we need the extension for now with the size of the fields that we've got. So we'll stick with the single one. So we need 6,000 for that. And then for a weeder, we need 6,500, 8,750 if we want something a little faster. I think I'll probably go with this for something a little faster. But what we'll do, I think, is we'll skip through to January. And then we'll take a look in January to see the state of our fields. So I will see you there. Okay, so it's January and Happy New Year from Szpakowo. So let's take a look at the state of our fields that we have cultivated. How's this field doing? So we don't have any weeds. We do need some lime in here. We have a spreader, so we probably should get some lime, shouldn't we? We should get some lime in our spreader and get that spread in our field. So we don't need to buy a weeder just yet. That means we can probably wait until we've planted the seed, which is nice. So what I think we'll do is we'll jump back in our tractor, which we left over at the store. We'll take the cultivator back to the farm, and then we will bring the spreader back over here and get some lime and add lime to both of our fields. And then we'll take a look at what can be done in terms of contracts to build up our money a little more. Okay, so here we are back at the farm, switching out our cultivator for the spreader. And let's just reverse ourselves in here. Now there's a couple of things I wanted to do on the farm quickly in terms of landscaping. So I want to have a bit more of an approach here for our silo. So let's get our painting tool out and let's make it a little bigger. And let's kind of... Oh, that's not what I was trying to do, is it? I want gravel, wasn't it? Yeah, it's gravel. No, that's not right. Is this one? Yeah, that's the one we had. So let's just make that a little bigger, just so that we have an area to drive onto our farm and over to our silo. And let's try and smooth this out a little bit. Yeah, there we go. And then over here by our maintenance shed, I probably should have placed this in a different direction. I'm wondering whether it's worth doing that now. Let's see. No, we're not going to sell that because I think that cost 10,000, didn't it? So I'm not selling it for less than 50% because we don't have the money to replace it, and I really want to keep this on the farm. So let's paint over a section here just so that we have a little bit of space to walk in here. There we go. And drive in and out as we need to. So we'll just add like maybe this much more space. I think that should be good. Okay, so let's grab our spreader. We'll empty out what's in there. I think fertilizer is in there right now. So we'll empty out the fertilizer and we'll go and get some lime, and we'll get both of our fields covered in lime. Okay, so here we are over at the farm shop. Now I know a few things came up in the discount store overnight, so let's take a quick look what's in there. Unfortunately, nothing that we are able to use. So let's go into here, and we'll pick up, what should we get? We'll get 3 bags of lime, I think. So we'll fill up the spreader with 1. We'll take 2 back on the fork that we're about to buy. Pallet fork. Yeah, that's what we want. Okay, so topping up with the first bag. And then zipping ourselves around here to pick up the pallet fork, to pick up the other 2 bags to take back to the farm. Yes, I completely forgot. There's a bug with this spreader, and when you have the front loader attached, you can't rotate the angle of whatever the front loader attachment is. You can make it wider and you can raise the front loader up or down, but you can't change the angle of the attachment. So we have to drop the spreader, pick up the bags like that. There we go, and then reattach to the spreader. Okay, so we have our goodies. Let's head back to our farm. Oh, I was going to check contracts, wasn't I? Take a look to see what needs to be done. Nothing, except for deadwood. Don't want to do deadwood, so let's get these 2 fields done, and then we'll probably skip through to February and possibly even March when we can do some planting. We will see. Okay, so we have spread lime on both of our fields, and we've used a hell of a lot of lime. We had to go back to the store and buy some more. We've only got around 5,000 litres left out of the... What did we buy in the end? We bought 6 bags, I think. So we used 7,000 litres of lime to get both of our fields done. But they're done now, so let's head back over to our farm with the lime we have left. And then I think what we'll do is skip through to February, see what there is to be done, because I don't think there's anything left to do in January. Our balance has decreased again to 2,600, and that's because I had to buy the field data for our 2 fields for precision farming to ensure that the correct amount of lime was spread. And I also had to buy more lime, so we're running low on balance again. We are going to need a seeder and we're going to need a weeder, so we still need about 15,000 euros to buy the equipment we need to get our fields planted for this season. Okay, so it is February and we have emerged from our container. Let's, first of all, I've seen a few things come up in the discount store, so let's see if there's anything in there that's of any interest to us. Doesn't look like it. What's that? That is a yarder. Okay, it's like a winch. Makes sense. So what else do we have? We have straw blower. Yeah, nothing else in here that we can actually use. So let's take a look at contracts for the month. There's absolutely nothing to do. So... all of our fields are prepared. The only contract is a deadwood contract, which I don't really want to entertain. So I think we will skip through to March because our fields... Let's just check our fields quickly. If we check our pH, that's all looking decent, I think. I actually don't know. The nitrogen is bad, but that's okay. We're going to leave that until we've planted our crop. Something else we need to take into account is that we need to make field 162 into a rice field. That's going to cost us a considerable amount of money. Now, I'm not actually sure how we're going to do this because we don't have any money. So, let's see. We might need to do a deadwood contract because I'm thinking we can't do sunflowers, so what can we plant next month? We can plant oat next month. That's the only thing. Oh, we can plant barley as well. Okay. Plant barley or wheat next month. That's... How comes you can plant this in the spring? I don't understand. Why would you plant it in winter if you can plant it in spring? That doesn't make any sense to me. Not quite sure what's happening there. It must be something specific to this map. Yeah, I don't know. So we can plant wheat for the next level of VIP order. And I think... I'm wondering whether we should plant wheat. We'll plant wheat in the other field because it's bigger. And then we'll do long grain rice in this field because it's smaller and won't cost as much. But to do either of those things, we're going to need some kind of seeder. So... we'll skip through to next month and see what our options are, because once I can actually make a plan to buy equipment, I'm going to be able to make a better decision. So I'll see you in March. Okay, so it's March and we've woken up to some delightful weather. But let's take a look and see exactly what we can do this month. So we have bale wrapping, which we can't do. We have a little bit of lime that we could spread, but that tends to be very inconvenient with the amount of lime that is used. Having said that, I know with the liming contracts we can reduce the amount that we use down to the minimum, so it might be worth doing these two lime contracts. We'll do these lime contracts given that we do have a little bit of spare lime, so we'll take that and we'll take that, and then we will see what we can do after that. So let's grab our spreader and we'll take the lime over to the first field. So I'll get these two fields taken care of and I'll rejoin you when they are complete. Okay, so that's those two fields done. This one, fortunately, nice and simple. It's skinny enough that we can just do it in one single pass. So that is finished. Let's switch off the tractor. We'll collect these two contracts and we will see what else we can do. How much money do we have? We have 5629 now. So we have a small fertilizing contract over there. We have a couple of sowing contracts. We have some bale wrapping contracts and wood transport. Okay, so we can skip through a little bit of the day and I will see you at about 1 PM. So it is 1 PM. The rain and the hail have finally stopped. Do we have any more? We do have some more contracts that we can take care of. Okay, what I think I'm going to do is take this massive liming contract. I know it's going to take a few bags of lime, but at this point I just want to get ourselves a decent amount of money so that we can continue on with what we want to do on our own fields. So do we do the massive one or do we do the less massive one? We'll do the less massive one. I think 10,000 on top of what we have right now will put us in a very good position to start seeding our own fields. So let's take this. we'll head back over to the farm, we'll grab the extra bags of lime we had, and then we'll go and take care of this contract. I don't know how many bags of lime this massive field is going to use. It's going to be quite, I would say, at least 3, even with the lowest spreading rate. I'd say it's going to go through at least 3 bags of lime, but I'm really not sure. We have, I think, 1.5 left over at the farm, so we should be able to top up our spreader, take 1 spare bag with us, and then fortunately that field is fairly close to the store, so we'll be able to just zip over to the store and top up again if we need to. And once we're done there, we'll have around 15,000 euros, and that will put us in a good position for the cedar, some seeds, and spending the rest of the month planting our own fields. Oh, and drawing out the rice field, of course. I forgot about that. Okay. I think we have 2 full bags here actually, don't we? Yeah, we have 2 full bags here. I'm just going to drop off the spreader quickly. The bug's weird because it doesn't always happen when the spreader's attached. I don't know if there's some action that you do, like maybe when you actually activate the spreader, but it seems that sometimes when the spreader's attached you can't adjust the angle, and sometimes you can. Okay, over to the large field. We will get it taken care of, and I will rejoin you once we're done. Okay, so that's this massive field done. We used over a full spreader of lime to do almost all of it. Can you even imagine how much lime we would use if this was precision farming? 6 to 7 tons per hectare, so that's like 7 times as much as we did use. So we would be using 6 to 7 spreaders of lime just to do this field. So that's something to think of if our goal is to eventually own these big fields in the game. We have to consider that it's going to take a lot of lime to coat them. So yeah, we will need to have a much more capable lime spreader. Anyways, back to the present day and away from our dreams. We'll collect this contract, and now we have enough money to buy our cedar. So let's go into cedars. We will pick up this John Deere. We'll get the side attached just so that we can update it later if we need to or want to. And I wonder why it's white. We should probably get it in green, shouldn't we? As long as the paint job is free, which it is. And I don't know, let's go with a grey for the top. Yeah, there we go. I like that. So we'll pick this up. And we will also pick up some seeds. How many seeds should we get? Probably just 1 pallet for now. Okay, so that's the seeds and the cedar picked up. Let's head over to the store. And actually what I can probably do, I wonder if there is enough space in the spreader. Oh, there is, just about. Wow, something didn't go against us. We have 20 litres to spare in the spreader. So we'll head over to the store, we'll pick up our new tools, and we'll switch the spreader to the front of the tractor. And we will head back to our fields and get some seeds planted. Okay, so let's take a look. I think we said this field was going to be our rice field, didn't we? So let's take a look in the menu, and we need to go to, I think, cultivation and then a rice field. Now, actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to save the game first, because I have a feeling that this rice field is going to cost us more than 1,500. So I want to make sure that we have enough. I'm going to cover this whole area in as a rice field. So let's see where we should start. We can start it down here. I'm not sure that we'll get 4,000 litres of rice out of this because I've never planted it before. So what I'm going to do is plant wheat in this field and then make the other field a big rice field. I think that makes more sense. So let's take a look at that. We'll go over to our other field. It's just this one here. Let's see the planting costs for our field. So we'll start here. We'll come down to here like that. And then to there. Okay, that wasn't quite what I was aiming for. Cost us more money than we have. Fortunately, it let us go into debt, but that's okay. This will have to do for now. We've got our little rice tap over here, so we can switch it on. And next month is the month that we're going to be planting our rice field. I'll have to do some research in how to do that. But for now, let's put some wheat in this field. And that can be going towards our next level of VIP order. So I'm going to do this without fertilizing. And the reason for that is that I feel like the fertilizer is laid before the wheat, and the precision farming isn't taken into account because the seed rate is, or the fertilizer rate is based on the seed you plant. So if the fertilizer is put into the ground before the seed, then I don't think it's accurate. But we'll do some experiments and we'll find out. So we've got our wheat selected. Let's see what we need to do to switch this on. We just need to lower it, select it. Okay, there we go. Okay, seems easy enough, but then so does everything, and often doesn't turn out that way. So let's get seeding. I know we missed a chunk in the corner there. We'll go back and get that a little later. We'll see how we go with this. So we're done seeding this field, and we'll just scoop up this little piece on the end here. So we're done seeding this field, and that other lime contract is looking incredibly more appealing now that we're minus 4,000 euros in debt. So let's take a look and see if it's still available, because if it is, I think we'll probably take it, and we'll just quickly do a pass of this field. The other field didn't take that long, to be honest, and it used up a little bit of lime, but not an absolute ton of it. So I think doing this to get ourselves some money is a good idea. So we're going to see what else we have. Yeah, it's pretty close. So we'll take it, and we can quickly zip over there with the tractor and take care of it. So let's find somewhere to put our seeder. I think the seeder can just stay there, to be honest. It's fine where it is. We'll probably need to pick up 2 more bags of lime, which we can't afford. Okay, plan B. We will do that contract, but we'll do this. Where's the lime? Yeah, here. We'll do this one first because I think we'll be able to do that with the lime that we have. Then we can collect the contract. And that's actually not going to work, is it? No, because we only have, 4,816. Okay. Plan B. We'll do this fertilizing contract, this liming contract, then we'll have enough money to buy some more lime. Then we can do the big lime contract. Yeah. Well, this is turning out to be interesting. We'll make sure we have our fertilizer rate, the automatic rate disabled, and we'll turn it down to the minimum because grifting is necessary at the moment. I'll head over to this field. We'll get the fertilizing done. We'll do the lime in that smaller field. And I don't think that'll take a full spreader of lime. Then we'll do the big field. Then we'll have some money. So I'll get this done and I will rejoin you once we're complete. So I think we've managed to get ourselves out of this rather sticky financial situation. We're almost done liming this giant field. That's going to be a nice 15,000 payday for us. There we go, we've just finished. And so we have about half a bag of lime left and a nice 15,000 euro payday. So what I'm going to do now is head back over to the store, going to top up the tractor with diesel, and then I think we're going to call it there for this episode. Next month we will take a look at rolling our field. Actually, we won't be able to roll the field, will we, because it has to be done in the same month as planting, so our wheat field is going to have to go unrolled for this year. I could do it off camera, but I'm not going to do that, so we'll just have to go without rolling for this year. I know we don't have a roller, but I would be able to afford one with the money we collect from this contract. However, I feel like that is something that can wait for next year, next season. So we'll leave it there for this episode. I hope you are enjoying following along as we scrape the barrel to make ends meet financially. If you are enjoying following along, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's always very much appreciated. And I will hopefully see you in the next episode. Until then, bye for now.